Justin Gaethje detonates a claim that completely changes how people look at Paddy forever. The moment lands heavy, the room freezes, and the fallout spreads instantly across the MMA world. But stay right here, because the way this unfolds is far more damaging than the accusation itself.
This is such a crazy game, you know, you just never know. Maybe I'll sub him.
I mean, anything's possible.
It's gotta be 1,000,000 to 1 odds.
Justin Gaethje sent shockwaves through the MMA community when he suggested he could submit Paddy Pimblett at UFC 324. That statement alone rattled fans, but it wasn't even the moment that froze the room. The confidence in his voice wasn't loud bravado. It was calm, measured, and calculated. This is the same man who built his entire legacy on raw violence, suddenly hinting at dominance in the one area people assumed he could never control. If you think this was empty talk, keep watching, because that confidence opens the door to something much darker.
I thought I was going to fight Ilya in January.
I know there was a little bit of criticism about Paddy Pimblett getting this fight.
I mean, I felt just as much hate for me as I did for him. If you're an Arman fan, you obviously, feel slighted, and I understand that. But this is such a crazy game, and timing is everything. You know, I beat Dustin Poirier, and then he ended up fighting for a belt. If you sign up for this game, you have to understand that there's so many variables that you do not control, and ultimately you just have to be ready for each one of these nights.
Gaethje's transformation was forged through humiliation against Charles Oliveira. It wasn't the grappling that ended the night, it was getting clipped before the submission ever locked in. Then came Khabib Nurmagomedov, an MMA puzzle nobody could solve. Gaethje still describes that fight like drowning in quicksand while trying to solve a riddle under pressure. Those losses didn't break him, they rewired him completely.
I mean, ultimately he's a really good grappler, but since the Charles Oliveira fight, I've really trained a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of grappling, and I've actually been enjoying it a lot more than I ever have. And so I'm not looking to grapple, but I have no issue with the grappling department, and my ability to keep people from taking me down is second to none. So he's gonna have to compromise me with his punches and kicks and knees, and then if that happens, then he'll have a better chance.
Since those defeats, Gaethje vanished into wrestling rooms and jiu-jitsu mats with an obsession nobody talked about publicly. He didn't abandon chaos, he refined it. He still believes in walking forward, but now he believes he can survive long enough to drag anyone into deep, uncomfortable water. Gaethje doesn't fear grappling exchanges anymore.
Pimblett, Justin Gaethje fighting for the interim title. Whoever wins that fight will move on to fight Ilya. And I don't think that there will be a title defense for the interim title. If I was to bet, there will be no title defense of the interim title. I think that the next fight for whoever wins between Paddy and Justin, I think their next fight will be Ilya Topuria. So I do not think they will defend the interim title. So good movement and clarity at 155 pounds. I feel for Arman Tsarukyan, but this fight's going to be incredible.
Paddy Pimblett remains the biggest lightning rod in the division, undefeated inside the UFC. He's massively popular, endlessly promoted, and relentlessly doubted. Every step he takes multiplies attention. Fans question the level of competition, critics scream fast-tracking, and supporters see a future superstar in the making. The noise around him never stops for even a second.
But I think everyone's going to be shocked, to be honest, because I think I'm going to knock him out. So people won't expect that. People think I'm just going to try and grapple and take him down, when I'm not. I'm going to come out and I'm going to put it on.
Expecting an early knockout, a late knockout, somewhere in the middle.
I don't see him getting past the third, just like Chandler.
Pimblett believes UFC 324 isn't just a fight, it's his destiny. He isn't planning to play it safe, slow things down, or hide behind grappling. He sees chaos, opportunity, and a knockout that silences every critic at once. Pimblett says this ends inside 3 rounds with his hand raised high. But stay right here, because Gaethje wasn't finished talking yet.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind him adding something to the story so that people want to watch. Either way, people are going to watch. I'm the most consistent, most exciting guy, and this guy is on a freaking tear right now. So when that cage door locks, we're going to try to beat the shit out of each other, and I can guarantee every person in the arena will turn into an animal. And that's my goal every time.
When the conversation shifted, Gaethje dropped a line that made Joe Rogan visibly react in real time. His posture changed, his face tightened, and the energy in the room shifted instantly. Gaethje hinted at unnatural changes and raised questions that immediately set the internet on fire. No names were shouted, no proof was shown, but the implication landed heavy and loud. Rogan pushed back carefully, but the tension was undeniable and impossible to ignore.
That night 8 years ago, what's like the first thing that comes to mind when you think of that fight with Justin?
That I'm glad it's over and I never want to do it again. I'm like, the fans don't ever ask for a rematch or anything like that, because that would have never. I'm glad. He's unique, man, and he's one of my favorite guys to watch. So but if you want to beat Justin Gaethje, you have to. So he's a forward fighter and a pressure fighter that he will stand in the pocket. And he's gonna throw everything he got in that pocket. If you don't meet him, you'll get chewed up. So Paddy, the way to beat a guy who does this, very violent, aggressive pressure fighter, you have to meet him. You have to throw when he throws. So you got to be brave, and you have to go when he goes in between his shots. If you do that, you got a fair shot. If you don't do that, if you're not brave and courageous and throw when he throws in between his shots, it's going to be a really long night. It's going to be a hard night.
Former fighters piled into the chaos almost immediately. Tony Ferguson, one of the few men who's lived through championship pressure, pointed towards something deeper than skills or hype. He saw emotional weight hanging on Gaethje that Pimblett simply doesn't carry. Gaethje has lived through failed title shots and brutal setbacks, while Pimblett walks in free, reckless, and hungry.
Paddy's not bad, dude. Paddy's not bad. He's very beatable, and Gaethje's very beatable as well. But when it goes into the passion and how upsetting Justin Gaethje has always been about not getting that real title shot, and they just keep dangling it right there again, Paddy's in for a new treat, right? Paddy's the one that's never fought for a belt. He's going in there. He's going to be trying to, get that stuff. He's going to feel a little bit more fresher. He's going to have that little bit of excitedness in my opinion.
Gaethje stepping into yet another interim title fight reopens scars most fighters never fully heal from. Pressure compounds, expectations tighten, and history starts whispering doubts. Meanwhile, Pimblett arrives energized, confident, with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Ferguson didn't say anyone was unbeatable, but he sensed the balance sitting on a razor's edge.
They're not even they're just basically saying Paddy's more popular, you're getting it over Arman.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, right? And that's, God, I hate I kind of get into this too much, but that's really that's the definition of a monopoly, where a single promoter owns the title and the rankings, and it's not a good thing for the sport, in my opinion. And I have to question what it's going to do for the longevity of the sport. I don't think in the short term it's really going to make a big difference, right? It's going to sell the next fight, right? It's going to sell the next pay-per-view. But trends tend to come and go, right? Fads tend to come and go. At some point, to have staying power and lasting power, I think it requires, a meritocracy-based system. It's going to require, some, if you want to bring in guys like Arman Tsarukyan or Movsar Evloev, I always mess up how I say his name. You want to bring in these Olympic wrestling level guys. They don't want to have to go out there and put on some ridiculous show to become a champion. They don't want to have to go on Instagram and start a podcast and make whatever kind of skits on social media and this silly kind of stuff. They just want to be a world champion because they want to be the best athlete. And that's what makes me wonder how the staying power is going to be, right? When you're dealing with guys that are, legitimate athletes that want to be legitimate athletes, and they're getting passed up by guys that are entertainers.
Matt Brown widened the conversation and aimed straight at the UFC machine itself. To him, Pimblett's rise wasn't earned purely through competition. It was fueled by momentum, personality, and marketability. Brown has watched the sport evolve from pure merit into spectacle, and in his eyes, this fight perfectly symbolized that shift.
I wouldn't say that he's the odd man out. You know, he had an opportunity, and you guys know how that played out, and he's gonna have to work his way back. I don't give a shit what the number says. He's gonna have to work his way back. There's just too much goes into this for those type of things to happen. You know, we had a little. We were talking back in my room tonight, and we were talking about you know, all the crazy shit that's happened over the last 20-something years. But you can't do that. You can't get the opportunity and then it can't end that way. So he's got to work his way back.
So the message is take the next fight you offer him, obviously?
No, I mean, you know, he obviously, he knows what's going on. I don't give a shit what everybody else says. You know, he knows what's going on, and he's got to work his way back to that title shot.
Pointed directly at Arman Tsarukyan as the man paying the price for that shift. Arman beat tougher opponents, passed harder tests, and proved himself against elite talent, yet he was bypassed. While a louder name jumped ahead, behind the jokes and smiles was genuine concern. The direction of the sport is being questioned in real time.
What has the last few days been like in your mind?
I mean, it's hard, you know, it's hard because it's your goal. Why, like, a guy like a Paddy, he beat just one rank, number 12, and like they made the fake ranking and put him on the 5, and it's a business, you know. It's not just a sport. They can do whatever they want to do, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be a champion. It's just time, you know, the difference of the time. It's a hard because I deserve it to fight.
Islam Makhachev echoed that frustration with open disbelief. From his perspective, Arman did everything right. He fought injured, made weight as a backup, and dominated Dan Hooker, yet the interim belt went elsewhere. Islam couldn't understand how merit suddenly meant nothing. The confusion deepened when lower-ranked fighters were rewarded with opportunities. He openly questioned how the most deserving contender was forced to wait, and that resentment now simmers beneath the entire lightweight division. That tension doesn't disappear on fight night. Arman tried forcing his way back into the conversation by offering to help Gaethje train. It wasn't loyalty, it was resentment. He wanted Pimblett to lose more than anything else. Gaethje declined, refusing to invite future rivals into his camp. Don't overlook that decision, because preparation choices decide outcomes. The stakes for Gaethje stretch far beyond UFC 324. A win could set up a unification bout against Ilia Topuria, but Topuria has openly discussed moving to welterweight, threatening to flip the entire board. If that happens, Gaethje could become champion without throwing another punch. Everything now collapses back to the fight itself. Gaethje believes in controlled chaos and earned confidence. Pimblett believes momentum and belief can rewrite reality. Joe Rogan witnessed this tension explode long before the cage ever closes. When the fight ends, one man's narrative shatters while the other ignites. Between accusations, emotional weight, promotional controversy, and stylistic warfare, Gaethje versus Pimblett is no longer just a fight. It's a referendum on merit, belief, and trust. And once the final bell sounds, the lightweight division will never look the same again. Now it's your turn. Did Justin Gaethje cross a line, or was he just saying what everyone else is thinking? Do you believe Paddy Pimblett's momentum is real, or is the hype moving faster than the results? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this debate isn't slowing down anytime soon. Who do you think breaks under the pressure when that cage door closes? If you want more deep dives, real fight stories, and the moments they don't show on highlight reels, make sure you subscribe to the Combat Files and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. This division is shifting, the tension is real, and we'll be here breaking it all down every step of the way.